Like I started off the year by doing, I think, almost 60 days working like 10 to 12 hour days. I would wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning and I'd be working all the way till like 7, 8 p.m. Literally, all I did was work for maybe the first 2 months of the year. And honestly, that set me up. Not that didn't just set me up nicely. That set me up perfectly for the rest of the year. Because I remember I said to myself, like, I want to do X, Y, and Z. I wanted to do things differently. I wanted to like really grow as a person, grow in terms of my skill sets and the things that I wanted to achieve. And how are you gonna grow if you don't put the work in? And sometimes you just have to have months where like all you do is work, and sometimes you have to, delay that gratification, delay that, postpone that enjoyment. It's kind of like exactly what I'm doing now. Like, but yeah, that was January and February, and then going into March, April, May, I slowed down a bit, but I also like began to hone some skills that I said to myself at the beginning of the year, like, hey, these are the things I wanted to do. And there's some moments in life when you tell yourself you want to do something or a lot of things, and those goals might seem really big or really monumental. It's like, and let me tell you something about telling yourself like you want to achieve certain goals, and they're not small things. Like when you look at it in its totality, it looks huge, it looks massive. And in the beginning stages of doing anything, learning anything, trying something new that you haven't done before, those beginning stages are the toughest, because everything you're doing is new, and you try and do things, but you have to learn at the same time, and sometimes you'll make mistakes. I know for me, it took me a long time to figure out and hone those skills that I was trying to learn, and that's why I'm so glad that I really took January and February to like work my ass off, because if I didn't, I would never have been able to get to the point where by March, April, I started to like get comfortable, so to speak, in the skills I was trying to learn and things I was trying to build. And as I got more comfortable, I was able to move faster and make progress. So I'd say like March, April for me was months of progress, where I like finally like started to see progress in the things that I was doing. Where's that, Abu Dhabi, or where? Like, oh, these fireworks go crazy. Oh yeah, that's still Dubai. Yeah, Dubai does nuts. But yeah, March, April were months of progress, where I could finally start to see the fruits of the things that I was working on, the things I was building, the skills that I was learning. And I take pride in being someone who learns fast, um, fails fast, or succeeds fast, but someone who really, um, if I say, hey, I'm gonna do this, I do it. But this year was different. 2025 for me was different, because sometimes I'll say I'm gonna do something, and maybe I'll say, okay, this year I'm gonna do this, or in 3 months I'm gonna be here, or whatever. Set a goal, long-term goal, long-term vision. But 2025 was different. 2025 for me was a year where I said I was gonna do something, and I actually did it. I actually did the things that I wanted to do, and I didn't just do them, I did them well, regardless of the outcome or the impact, because you can't always control the outcome or the impact from the things that you do. But I can be very happy with myself and look back and see the product of the things that I did, and where they went, and where they came from, and where they went to. And I'm really proud of the product that I created, the things that I did, the work that I put in. And I think like you kind of, if you want to And now I'm speaking specifically to people who want like who want more for themselves. Now I'm not speaking to, if you, no shade to anybody who like works a regular job, does their thing, goes to work every day, comes back home, watches Netflix, just lives a very straightforward life. That that life isn't for me, right? But no shade to anyone who's like living that type of life. Like I think that's cool too. But for me, like I always knew my path is different, right? So if you're someone like me whose path is different, like there will be times where you have to make that sacrifice to make a way for yourself. Because sometimes you can have the benefit of having a job that will teach you the skills that you want to go and learn, or you want to go and build to like achieve the things that you want to do. But it's not always going to be like that. It's not. Most of the time, if you want to like do something important, do something impactful, do something profitable, if you want to make money, if you want to make an impact in this world, no one's gonna throw you a handout. You actually have to put in that work. You actually have to show up day after day, month after month, year after year. And you actually have to be willing to like see no result, no benefit from the work you're doing for a long time, and you have to be okay with that. Because you know what you're doing it for, and you're doing it for yourself. You're doing it for the person you want to become. So if you're someone like me, like keep at it, keep sticking to it. The road is gonna be long, it's gonna be hard, but I'll tell you one thing: it's never not gonna be worth it. So I would say, like, if I could put 2025 as a theme for me, growth. It was a year of growth. In order to grow, sometimes you have to leave the old you behind, and that's hard. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to say this is who I was, and that person is gonna stay in the past. I'm one of those people who has a, like, if I could, I'd have a 20-year vision board of like, this is where I'm gonna be 20 years from now type shit. So when I was 18, my first semester of college, I already mapped out exactly where I was gonna be in 4 years, and I said, hey, in 4 years, this is where I'm gonna be, and these are all the steps that I'm gonna take to get to where I'm gonna be in 4 years. And I was like, I remember, like, I specifically said, I am going to be X, and X is like the name of the profession that I was going to work. I said, I'm going to be this. I'm going to work this industry, this specific job, doing this specific thing. And without fail, 4 years later, I was doing the exact thing that I said I would be doing when I was 18. Not only was I doing the exact thing I said I would do, and I like very specifically leveraging the exact skills that I told myself I was gonna learn in the exact ways that I was gonna do it. So I say that to say this year, I decided like I'm gonna rediscover what my specialty is, or who I am as a person, and if you ever at a party or an event, and the typical icebreaker question is, what do you do? And then maybe you'll tell them like what you do for work, whatever. Before 2025, for the last 7 years or so, that that question was pretty easy for me to answer. What do you do? I do this, X. I do that. And this year I said, I don't care what happens. I don't give a damn what happens or what the outcome is, but that is going to change. I said, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know if it's going to be successful, but I said, I'm going to change. I'm not going to be X anymore. I'm going to be Y. I'm going to be different. So May and June were months of rediscovery for me, where I completely said, out with the old, in with the new. And I'm going to be a completely different, the person that I describe myself as when people ask me, what do you do? It's completely different. And that's what it was. So in May, like, I literally had to figure out, like, who is this person? And in June I went to an event, and I remember, actually in June, I remember having multiple conversations with different people and just telling them, like, I'm starting from scratch. Because, of course, talking to people who I don't know, you know, I remember telling them, like, hey, so that, you know, we talk about what they do, and then when the conversation comes back to me, I don't describe myself as what I used to do, but I don't have a current thing that I do. So I would say, like, I'm starting from scratch, doing something new. And I would go on to describe all the different things in my mind are things that possible avenues of things I want to do. But yeah, I said I'm starting from scratch, doing new things. I don't know what I am or who I am, but I'm doing things new. And I did. I did those new things. And I remember having to go through trials and tribulations on that path. But it's worth it. It's worth it to make that leap, because you never know who you can become or what you can become. So anyways, I think July, August, we're like continuing that process of self-discovery. And yeah. And then September, I'd say, like, September was another month where it's like, I'd say from May till mid-September, I did the 180. I rediscovered what I want to do. At September, I had to do another 180 again and start from scratch again. Starting from scratch and trying to change who you are and what you do and what you're about in 1 year is crazy. Having to do it twice in 1 year is insane. But that's the situation I find myself in, and that's what I had to do. And I can't lie, it's not easy. It's not easy to have to reinvent yourself, not once but twice. But like I said, I was determined not to go back to the old me, no matter what it took. So if I had to reinvent myself again, I said that's what I was gonna do. And then from October onwards till now, I'd say, like, it's just been I've been in the dirt, I've been in the mud. Because, like I said, those early stages are always the hardest. But I'm finally beginning to find that, beginning to get in the groove, beginning to feel like I'm starting to make progress again. So yeah, January 2026, I'm gonna continue from where I left off in December. I don't have no major New Year's resolutions. I don't have any like 2026. This is what I want to do. This is who I want to be. These are the goals I want to achieve. No, I have none of that for 2026. It's gonna be more of the same. It's gonna be more of the same bullshit. You know, like continuing to grow and rediscover who I am, reinvent who I am. So I'm super excited to where it's going to take me and what I'm going to achieve. What I can say, I'm being very vague on purpose. I'm not giving too much details on what it is that I am trying to discover, skills I am trying to learn. But I mean, if you follow me in socials, you can get an idea of like what it is exactly that I am going to be doing. But yeah. 2025 was also a year of obstacles, but I'm not one to complain because I think it's insane. Like I think it's insane to try and complain about like obstacles. One thing about me is I hate complaining. I like to look forward, move forward, and be that way. I don't want to be someone who's like, woe is me, like why can I have it easier? Why does someone else have it easier than me? Nah, it's all good. It's all good. Try to know some. Hold on. I feel like I need to get something off my chest. I'll tell you something that I also realized this year. The fireworks are going off everywhere. Hey, crazy. Alright, let me cut that shit off for a second. Let's get some. Hold on. Yeah, this is it. Uh-oh. Let me get serious for a second, because I have an important message to deliver to the masses. On New Year's Eve 2025, something that I realized this year, something that really changed the way I look at everything that I do, and I hope it changes for you. Um, I think everyone, including you, is a lot more strong, a lot more powerful than you think you are. You just have to see it to believe it. There is no better source or generator of confidence within oneself than seeing the evidence of your works, than seeing the evidence of your ability, the evidence of your potential, the evidence of your capabilities, seeing the fruits of your labor. There is nothing greater for your confidence that saying you were going to do something and actually doing it, and not just doing it, but consistently. You know, a lot of people today are gonna make resolutions. A lot of people today are gonna set goals for themselves. A lot of people are going to tell themselves, 2026, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to have this goal. As we know, most people are not going to do shit about their goals. Most people, after January passes, are going to revert right back to the same person they were in 2025. If you do not want to be that kind of person, then here is my message to you. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline stays. It's permanent. Regardless of your mood, regardless of how you feel, the best way, the easiest way to build discipline is to have confidence in yourself. Confidence in the fact that if you tell yourself, hey, this is what I need to do, you're actually going to do it. The easiest way to develop confidence is to do shit and actually see yourself do shit. Like, I remember one day, it was a very special day to me where I think it was at the end of the day, I was walking back home from where I was coming from, and I was tearing up. I was tearing up on my walk back home. I was tearing up because as I was walking home, I was just thinking about the fact that I had just seen an idea that I had 6 months ago, and I saw that idea go from just something in my brain to something that was real, something that happened. And it didn't just happen, it happened exactly in the way I said it would happen. And believe me, in that 6 months, like when I in the like when I had the idea, like, did I think that I was going to achieve what I achieved in a way that I knew it would happen? No. Nobody knows. Nothing in life is guaranteed. But I can tell you one thing. I tried my hardest. I wasn't disciplined. There were some days where I wasn't committed. But I'll tell you this. After seeing that evidence of me doing what I did, there was no way I couldn't not believe in myself. There was no way I could not have discipline. There was no way I couldn't not have the confidence in myself. Because now I had evidence. Now I had evidence of me saying I was going to do something. I had evidence of me having an idea and seeing that idea to its completion, to its fulfillment. In 2026, what you need to do in order to achieve your goals is to first create that evidence in your life that you can actually tell yourself, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to have this idea of what I want to do, and create that evidence of you doing it. Track yourself, record yourself, check your progress. I don't care what you use, whether it's pen or paper. I don't care if you have some to-do list, like, put it down somewhere. Because the day you see that evidence, the day you see the fruit of your labor, the next time you want to do something, the next time you set a goal for yourself, the next time you have an idea, you won't for a second doubt whether or not you'll be able to achieve. You only feel that it's a matter of time. Let me tell you, there's no greater feeling than the feeling of knowing your success is inevitable. And that's the point that I want you to get to. Because once you get there, the world is your oyster. Like, once you get to that point, once you reach that point, like, there is no fear, there's no doubt, there is no obstacle too insurmountable. Once you get to that point, when you want to do something, even if you feel sick, even if you feel tired, even if you feel like, what am I even doing this for? Once you have the confidence of knowing that it's only a matter of time, it's inevitable, then you will achieve it. But first, you have to create that evidence for yourself. You have to fulfill something. And I'm not talking about like the things that are expected of you. I'm saying something that you tell yourself you're gonna do, whether it's like a challenge to run a marathon, or a new side project that you're building, or if it's music you're creating. If you can go from idea to completion in one area, you'll have the confidence that you can do it in all areas. It's as simple as that. That in and of itself will give you that discipline that you need when you don't feel motivated. If you're there already, I'm happy for you. But if you're not there yet, then in 2026, that's what you have to get to. That's what you have to do. So, because I'll tell you right now, I'm past that point. You know, and it's only because I told myself, like, I'm gonna go out the way and do all those things that I said I wanted to do. You know, like, and it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all. It wasn't easy at all to get up at 4 a.m. and work for 12 hours, almost 60 days straight. But because I did that, now certain things don't faze me. Because I did that, like, the work that I needed to do in May, in June, July, August, September to reinvent myself, it would have seemed difficult for some people, but for me it was straightforward. It was easy. It's just a matter of time. And then having to start all over again from September till now, it's not been easy at all. It's not. I'm not here to say I'm motivated on most days. I'm not. But I've always known it's just a matter of time. Everything that I want to do, everything I want to know, even with this streaming shit, like, let me get real for a second, like, for real, like, before we say Happy New Year to Mexico, even with this streaming shit, like, who I am today, very different from who I was this time last year. Like, let me be real with you. Like, I think 5 months ago, I had never held a camera and never operated a camera. You know, 3 months ago, I had never knew how to set up lighting, knew how to set up recording equipment. Now I'm here. So I can't, I'm super excited to see what happens in 2026. Not because I have lofty goals or ambitions, not because there is something I want or I need to achieve, but because I know that whatever I set my mind to now is gonna happen. It's only a matter of time. So now I'm just excited to see those things happen, and they will happen. It's a must. It has to happen. And then hopefully this time next year we'll be back on a road like nothing. Back outside, boys, you know what I'm saying? What the? This is cool though. Speaking of back outside, shout out to everyone who's outside.